So hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video we are just going to be testing the BODYSHOP Own Your Naturals. This is an eyeshadow palette with a few shimmers and mattes in it. So I'm just going to be testing it and figuring out if it's worth the £15 it retails for or if it isn't. So this is just the eyeshadow palette. It has 12 different colours in there with a few mattes and shimmers. So I'm gonna go in and swatch a few. So we'll start on the bottom row. So here are 3 of the colours on the bottom row. They are quite creamy to dip in. And these are the other 3. Like that. They are not quite bad, they're quite pigmented. Now we'll go to the top. So here are 3 from the top. Can you see that? I'm not really sure. And the last 3 on the top row. There. So from what I can see in the palette, they don't have names, but these are the colours inside. They're fairly pigmented, as you'll be able to see. Even the kind of neutrals and the really light colours in the palette are quite good and pigmented. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump right into it and go ahead and I'm going to do a look on my eyes just to see what the palette's like. First things first, I'm just going to go in and prime my eyelids, give my eyelids a bit of a base. This is the Revolution Pro Full Coverage Camouflage Concealer in C3. This is a perfect P. Louise dupe. So I'm just taking a small amount on this little concealer kind of brush and I'm just going to prime my lid with it. Like so. So this concealer gives me a really nice kind of sticky base. I use this quite a lot for all my makeup looks on Instagram, etc. just because the shadow can really cling to it and you see its best potential then. Doing this, I'm just taking the palette and this is the Unique Fluffy Crease Brush, really good, and I'm just taking this kind of brown colour here and I'm just going to pack this into the crease and kind of blend it upwards. Like so. I'm going to dip into the exact same colour just to bring a bit more of the pigment in and build up the colour. Now to get a nice solid blend going on, I'm just dipping into this colour here. And a fair bit on there just to blend the little brown colour up into the eyebrow to get a solid ombre kind of colour. Like so. So here I'm forming kind of a circle kind of look. Now what I'm going to do to just darken it up a bit is take this dark brown on the same Unique Fluffy Crease Brush and blend that one into the crease. Like so. So we've got a nice kind of brown kind of ombre, and now I'm just switching up to a smaller kind of blending brush back into that dark brown again just to darken it up, to kind of smoke out from the lid kind of upwards. like so. So we've got a bit of a smoky feel going on, which I kind of like. Now what I'm thinking of doing is adding some of that shimmer in the palette on. But before we do that, I do want to blend the harsh lines out a little bit. The palette blends really well, and the shadows do work really well mixing together on this base as well. And this base is quite tacky, so sometimes you can find that it is actually hard to blend. So now taking my Bosyshop fluffy brush, I'm just dipping it into this colour here, which is more of my skin tone. There is a lot of fallout, don't know if you can see that, but I think that's something you can expect with a pigmented palette. And then I'm just going to dip back and forth with the colours that I've gone in until I have a steady kind of look that I want to go for. Now again, I'm just taking the Bosyshop, this is the flat kind of brush, and I'm going to dip into this gold colour here on the brush. I'm going to tap in a fair bit just to get a nice amount of the shimmer. And what I'm going to do is tap this onto the lid nicely. Like so. Creating a kind of rounded effect. And that is the look that I've decided to create with the palette. It's very basic, very everyday, like the cream. The shimmers in the palette are very creamy, they applied really well. You might have been able to see that when I put it on. If not, that's fine. They did blend very well as well. You do have to kind of pack more colour on if you really want to, you know, get a big bold colour. But again, these are just the swatches from one swatch. So you can create pretty much anything with that palette. You can go, you know, quite glam, quite natural. You know, you could create a few things with the palette. So on the other eye, I'm going to dip into this section of the palette just so we can have two looks on the go to show you the different looks you could go for. So I'm going to be basing this one off these 4 colours here and just that. So exactly the same steps as before. So I'm just taking the concealer on a flat concealer brush and priming my eyelid with it. So I'm taking the Unique Fluffy Crease brush and I'm just going to dip into this colour right by here, getting a fair bit on that brush. There's a lot of fallout again, but I think that's kind of expected. It's a well pigmented palette. So now I'm just taking the shadow and pushing it oil into the crease and blending it. So now that's blended out, I'm just going to take this colour right by here and do that over the top, blending it up into the eyebrows. I'm going to drag it out just a little and create a bit of a wing. And what I'm going to do is I'm taking my Bosyshop flat brush, I'm picking up this pink shimmery colour and I'm just packing this on to the lid. So the look I've created on this eye here is basically just using the 4 lighter sections, whereas this one is using the darker ones. So I've got 2 different combinations. I've got more of a winged out, very natural, but could be quite classy, and a kind of glam, smoky eye with a bit of shimmer. So these were both created obviously using this eyeshadow palette, which is really, really good. I love an eyeshadow palette where you can create multiple things with, but not only that, you could definitely use some of the shimmers to highlight your face. You could use this for a lot of things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and put mascara on just to show you what it looks like with a bit of mascara, in case you're not a lash person, and I'll also show you it with lashes. So here are both of the looks with just mascara on. So what I've done is I've put some eyelashes on. These are by ilash.expo. So here are the 2 looks with eyelashes on. These are by the brand Eyelash. That is their Instagram and TikTok. I do highly recommend these. They are a really reasonable price. They suit this look a lot better. They look so much better over here than they do over here, but purely I think that's just because, number 1, I haven't stuck it on very good. Number 2, this is more of a no makeup kind of look, whereas this one is a bit glam, you know. So my overall review on this palette, I don't think they've come out with makeup before. However, this is a really nice palette. This is definitely something you could put in your makeup bag. It's something you could use all the time. Definitely something you could do a lot of looks with. There were a lot of kind of pinky, kind of light neutral tones, and then you've got more of the, you know, auburn browns, the gold shimmers. There's a lot you can do with it. So I do highly recommend this palette. Again, it retails at £15, which isn't bad. I think a lot of eyeshadow palettes do retail between them prices of 10 to like £100 odd, depending on where you're getting it from. So it is within the reasonable price. It is something I would definitely recommend.